A very good afternoon, people. We'll start the lecture in just a minute or so. Okay, a very big welcome to all of you. Let us start the lecture. First of all, yesterday was the first lecture in which we started the chapter that was basic concept. Now, in this particular basic concept, what we have seen up to now, that Article 265 gave the power to government to collect the tax. Article 246 has done the bifurcation, that is central list, state list, concurrent list. GST is introduced from Article 246A. Then we saw there are two kind of tax, that is direct tax, indirect tax. Then we saw that we will study total five things, that is Act, rules, circular, notification, Finance Act, and case laws. Then we saw a hierarchy, that how to calculate income tax. First we'll determine residential status. Then we'll see the income, which is divided into five heads of income. Income from salary, income from house property, PGBP, profit and gain from business and profession, capital gains, IFOS, that is income from other sources. Then we will apply clubbing. Then we will apply set off carry forward. So we will get one income, which is called as gross total income, minus deduction under chapter 6A, that is 80C to 80U. Then we will get our total income. And on that we will apply the tax rate. So basic tax, then it will come rebate or surcharge, plus we have to add 4% health and education cess, minus we will do the tax which is already paid, TDS, TCS, advance tax. So we will get our either tax payable or tax refundable. Then we started with the very first section. That was section 1, which says that Income Tax Act is applicable to the whole of India, including Jammu Kashmir, applicable from 1st April 1962. Then we saw the definition of India. Then that was section 4, charging section. Income tax is payable by every person on his total income earned during the previous year, relevant to assessment year, at the rates applicable. And I ask you that where the rates are given: option A, Income Tax Act; option B, Finance Act; option C, A and B both. So what is the final option that you will select? A and B both. So some special tax rate are given in Income Tax Act. Balance tax rates are given in the Finance Act, that is the budget. Okay, tell me which Finance Act is applicable to you people. Finance Act 2024, number 1 and number 2. First budget came on 1st February 24. Second one came on 23rd July 2024. And both this budget are applicable to you people. Which financial year is applicable to you? Financial year 2024-25. Achha, first definition was of person. Person has 7 category: individual, HUF, firm, company, AOP, BOI, local authority, artificial judicial person, that is AJP. Then we saw that every inflow which you don't need to repay will become your income. And ultimately we pay the tax on the word called income, not inflow. So the income which is taxable is called as taxable income. But the income on which no tax is applicable, will call it exempt income. Two words we saw then: previous year, assessment year. Previous year means the year in which you earn the income. Assessment year means the year in which that income is calculated, tax is calculated, that is paid, return of income is filed. So which previous year is applicable to you? 24-25. Which assessment year is applicable to you? 25-26. And that is what all we saw in the last lecture. Then we started with the rate of taxes. Achha, rate of taxes first we saw for 5%. Common tax rate is applicable for those 5%. Which are those 5 persons? Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Can I say they are bifurcated into this 3 column? First, resident individual below age of 60, plus HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, plus all non-resident individual. Up to 2,50,000, there is no tax. So this limit is called as what? Basic exemption limit. 2,50,000 till 5 lakh 5%, 5 lakh to 10 lakh 20%, above 10 lakh 30%. If you are a resident individual of age 60 or more, you will be called as senior citizen. Up to 3 lakh there will be no tax, but then balance will remain same. Achha, if you are a resident individual of age 80 or more, you will be called as very senior citizen या तो super senior citizen. Up to 5 lakh there will be no tax, balance will remain same. And on all this basic tax, what you ultimately need to add 4% health and education cess. That is to be counted on the tax, not on the income. But now there was one small note which was pending yesterday, which I am supposed to start it with today. First, what I want to ask is, tell me one thing, people. If, let's say, our financial year is 24-25. Now, what if in the beginning of the year 24-25, I was of the age 59, but let's say my birthday was in January 25, wherein I completed 60th year of age and started 61st year. So by the year end, that is on 31st March 25, now I am aged 60 years. So my completed age is 60, but when the year began, my completed age was 59. For 9 months, I was of 59 years. For balance 3 months, I was of 60 years. Tell me, for this previous year 24-25, what will be my basic exemption limit? What will be my basic exemption limit if particularly over here my age started with 59, year ended with the age of 60? What will be the basic exemption limit? And the answer is the basic exemption limit will be rupees 3 lakh. So now why basic exemption limit will be of rupees 3 lakh? Now let me just read what is written in this chart. A resident individual of age 60 or more at any time during previous year, for even one day also, if you are a resident senior citizen, then higher basic exemption limit is applicable and not that 2,50,000. So here can I say for even a single day also, I'm of the age 60 for at least 3 months over here. And that's why my basic exemption limit will be 3 lakh and not 2,50,000. Similarly, let's say in the beginning of the year 24-25, I was of the age, let's say 79. And by the year ends, 31st March 25, I have attained the age of 80 years. Then what will be my basic exemption limit for the year 24-25? That will be 5 lakh rupees. Because third column has written the same wordings. Resident individual of age 80 or more at any time during the previous year. So even for one day also, if you complete 80 years, then you will be called as very senior citizen and 5 lakh rupees of basic exemption limit will be yours. Achha, indirectly what I can say is, you have to see the age at the end of the previous year, not in the beginning. So if in the end of the previous year, you have completed 60 years of age, 3 lakh rupees. 80 years of age, 5 lakh rupees. Are you clear up to now? So you have to see the age by end of the previous year, not beginning of the previous year. Now, one more point. Let me ask you one more question. Let's say 24-25, I'm of the age 59. My birth date is on 31st March 2025. So on exactly 31st March 2025, my birthday is there, on which I completed 60th year, started 61st year of my life. Tell me, for the financial year 24-25, for the previous year 24-25, what will be my basic exemption limit? Obviously, the answer is what? 3 lakh. Because I completed 60th year on the last day, that is also okay. Even for one day, I completed 60th year, and hence basic exemption limit applicable will be what? 3 lakh rupees. Now give me the answer. Financial year is 24-25. I have completed 59 years of age. Let's say my birthday is on 1st April 2025. That is next year ka first day. And what if I complete my 60th year on 1st April 25 and I start obviously 61st year on the same date? Now tell me, for previous year 24-25, what will be my basic exemption limit? What will be my basic exemption limit for 24-25 now? The answer is even for 24-25, basic exemption limit will be 3 lakh. Why? I have not completed 60th year in the year 24-25. I have completed 60th year on 1st April 25. That is the next year ka first day. Then why higher limit is applicable in this year? Okay. Now let me share you some exciting thing over here. Tell me, if a year is starting on 1st January, whether it will end on next 1st January or it will end on 31st December. Can I say it will end on 31st December? From next 1st January, what will start? New year. Similarly, the year which start on 1st April is completed on 31st March. Can I say from next 1st April, new year will get start? Yes. If let's say Mr. A is coming to me and he's saying today that sir, I have completed my 18th year of age today. Today is my birthday. I have completed 18th year and I'm starting 19th year. Then beta, he's wrong. What he need to tell me, that sir, today is my birthday. Yesterday I have completed 18th year of my age, and from the day of the birthday, my new year is getting started. That is 19th year. See, Supreme Court has said in the judgment, you know why we celebrate the birthday? Not because the old age is getting completed, that completed one day prior to the birthday. We celebrate the birthday because the new year is getting started. Now apply the same logic over here. If my birthday is on 1st April 25, I'm completing 60th year and I'm starting 61st year. Tell me, actually I'm completing 60th year on which date? Can I say actually I'm completing 60th year on the day preceding to this? That will be 31st March 2025. And hence I have completed 60th year in the year 24-25. Because of that, basic exemption limit will be 3 lakh. And from 1st April 25, the new year is getting started, that is 61st year. Okay, now tell me, 24-25, I was of 59 years. My birthday is on 2nd April 2025, on which I completed 60th year and I'm starting 61st. That is what written in the question. Tell me, now for the year 24-25, what will be my basic exemption limit? So now the answer is 2,50,000. What is the simple reason? Can I say if my birthday is on 2nd April 25, then I completed 60th year on the day prior to the birthday. That is 1st April 25, which is covered by which year? 25-26. I have not completed 60th year of age in the year 24-25 and hence higher basic exemption limit is not applicable. So this is what I have written over here. What is the exact meaning of at any time during the previous year? Even for one day also. So that is the circular of CBDT. CBDT has given this circular. If any person has birth date on 1st April 25, completing 60th year, starting 61st year, then actually he is completing 60th year on the preceding date. That is 31st March 25, and which is covered by which financial year? 24-25. And hence higher basic exemption limit available for previous year 24-25 also. Achha, please understand one thing. You have to see the age in previous year, not in assessment year. See, in assessment year, we just do the calculation. All the data, all the fact we have to catch from previous year only. So the age also you have to see from which year? Previous year. That is for us previous year 24-25. Are you understanding up to now? Okay. Now these were some of the questions that we have seen yesterday. These 3 questions also we have done yesterday. Answers also we have discussed yesterday. Now, this tax rate for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Every year budget comes. Every year people were waiting for new tax rate to come. And every year what government was doing, whatever was the rates given earlier, they were just doing it copy paste. Since last 10 years, these tax rates are same. Since last 10 years, there are no changes in this tax rate. So people have demanded that government should bring some new tax system where the tax rate should get substantially reduced. And based on the demand, whatever Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman Madam has said, okay, we are bringing now new tax system. new tax rate for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. And what are those new tax rate? Up to 3 lakh. If your income is up to 3 lakh, tax will be 0. And this 3 lakh limit will be for all. Below 60, more than 60, more than 80, we don't care. For you, the basic exemption limit will be now onwards how much? 3 lakh. Achha, 3 lakh to 7 lakh, it will be 5%. 7 lakh to 10 lakh, it will be 10%. 10 lakh to 12 lakh, it will be 15%. 12 lakh to 15 lakh, it will be 20%. And whatever is the income over and above 15 lakh, on that 30%. These are the new tax rate. These are the new tax rate applicable over here. New tax rate which are applicable for whom? Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Now understand what will happen over here. I taught you old tax rate. And that I told you yesterday. In the lecture of yesterday, we saw this table that is all about 2,50,000 limit for senior citizen, 3 lakh for very senior citizen, 5 lakh. And now what I'm saying is for all this 5%, now new tax rate are there up to 3 lakh 0, 3 lakh to 7 lakh 5%, 7 lakh to 10 lakh 10%, 10 lakh to 12 lakh 15%, 12 lakh to 15 lakh 20%, more than 15 lakh 30%. Then sir, why you taught old rates? What government said, these are the new tax rate, agreed, but you have an option. If you want, you can follow this new tax rate. If you want, you can follow the old tax rate. You have an option. So this is new tax rate, and whatever we learned yesterday was the old tax rate, even that is also continuing. Now we have two options. It is called as two tax regime, that either you can follow old tax system or you can follow this new tax system. Achha, this new tax is given in Income Tax Act by way of section 115 BAC. The section number is what? 115 BAC. But whether any person is mad enough that he will follow the old system, obviously the new system contains the lower tax, then why anybody will go for the old? See, what government has said, you can follow this new tax system, but the cost is you will not get certain deductions, certain exemptions that Act is giving as of now. You have to forgo those deductions, you have to forgo those exemptions, you have to recompute your income. Based on that higher income, this new tax rate will get applicable. Achha, what if you want to go for old tax regime? Yeah, the old tax rate, you can claim all those deductions that are available, all those exemptions that are available. And on that, that earlier tax rate will get applied. So basically, let's say if a client is coming to us and he's saying that, sir, my gross total income is, let's assume, 10 lakh, and I'm claiming deduction under chapter 6A, 2 lakh. So my total income comes to 8 lakh. Now this total income is as per old system because he has taken every deduction. Tell me, if my client is a normal resident person below 60 years, total income is rupees 8 lakh, what will be his tax payable as per old regime? As per old regime, what will be his tax payable? So can I say up to 5 lakh, up to 2 lakh 50,000, there will be no tax. From 2 lakh 50,000 till 5 lakh, 5% is the rate, that will be 12,500. From 5 lakh till 8 lakh, on that balance 3 lakh, 20% will get applied, which is 60,000 to 72,500. Ultimately, we have to add 4%. And education says that total comes to 75,400. But now, what if my client says that now we want to also check that what is the tax payable in the new system, that is under section 115 BAC. Then first we have to recompute our total income by not taking those deductions, by not taking certain exemptions. Let's assume here this 2 lakh rupees of the deduction is not allowed under 115 BAC. So what will be the total income as per new system? 10 lakh. And now we have to apply tax rate as per 115 BAC. And what are those tax rate? Up to 3 lakh 0. 3 lakh to 7 lakh we have to apply 5%. On that 4 lakh 5% means 20,000. 7 lakh to 10 lakh 10%. On that 3 lakh 10% means 30,000. So basically what will be the tax over here? 50,000. And on that 50,000 ultimately we will add 4% health and education cess. So 50,000 plus 4% that will come to 52,000. My tax substantially reduced. So yes, here why we are said as the country having two tax regime. One is old tax regime, one is new tax regime. So what government has said, this 115 BAC will be called as default tax regime. What it will be called as? Default tax regime. Now, default tax regime, first of all, default tax regime means if you file your income tax return without selecting any option, by default, they will consider 115 BAC as your preferred option. And if you want to go under old regime, you have to select otherwise. So yes, if you don't say anything, which regime will be selected? New regime, that is 115 BAC. And that's why it is called as what? Default tax regime. And if you want to go in old regime, you have to select the option that I want to quit default tax regime. I want to shift out default tax regime. So if in the question it is written, calculate tax payable if assessee follows default tax regime, then which section, which rate you will apply? 115 BAC. Now what if the section says you that assessee wants to shift out of default tax regime? Then what rate you will apply? Old tax regime. Question arises, sir, which deductions are not available? Which exemptions we cannot claim if we follow 115 BAC? Then my counter question is whether you know which deduction are applicable. You know which exemptions are there in our act. No. So first we'll learn all that in the future chapters. And then afterwards, I will tell you that finally in 115 BAC how to compute the new total income. As of now, I have just explained that this kind of alternate system is also applicable. In detail, we will learn about 115 BAC in the future chapters. So as of now, during this lecture, whenever I tell you to calculate tax payable, you will tell me the answer based on our old tax regime. So see what I have written over here. Section 115 BAC subsection 1A. With effect from WEF. Full form is with effect from. Previous year 24-25. See, this section came from 2021. But then ultimately they are changing the rates every year. For you people, this tax rate is applicable and hence it is written with effect from previous year 24-25. Default tax regime. Default tax regime is introduced for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, either resident, all non-resident, senior citizen, whatever. We don't care. Subject to non-deduction of certain expense, non-deduction of certain deduction, yeah, exemption. See what I have written over here. What is the tax rate? Up to 3 lakh if my total income is, the tax will be 0. 3 lakh to 7 lakh, tax rate will be 5%. 7 lakh to 10 lakh, it will be 10%. 10 lakh to 12 lakh, it will be 15%. 12 lakh to 15 lakh, 20%. And if my income goes more than 15 lakh, then tax will be 30%. Now, which deductions are not available, which exemptions are not available, that will be discussed later on. So can I say, yesterday what rates we saw was of old regime, and that's why what I have written in the bracket C, old regime slash optional regime. Achha, tell me quickly, if in the question it is written, calculate tax payable as per default tax regime, then at which rate you will calculate your tax? 115 BAC. Okay. What if in the question it is written, calculate tax payable if assessee has shifted out of default tax regime? Old regime. What if the question says calculate tax payable if assessee has followed optional tax regime? Old tax regime. What if question says calculate tax payable as per normal regular provision of the act? Old tax regime. What if the question says calculate tax payable? Full stop. Then you have to calculate as per both old regime also, 115 BAC also. Are you understanding my point? So please remember, for this five people, that is individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, we have two tax regime. One is old regime, one is 115 BAC. When you follow old regime, tax rates are high. But while calculating the income, you get many deductions, many exemptions. But in 115 BAC, the tax rates are lower, subject to non-deduction of deductions, non-deductions of exemptions. I guess up to now it is clear. Now, now this basic tax what we saw was of this five category: individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, HAP. Let us understand the tax rate if you are a firm. Firm means obviously partnership firm, which includes LLP, yeah, local authority. A firm, LLP, local authority, for them, flat 30% is applicable. Flat 30%. See, plus 4% health and education says is common for all. That is always applicable. But see, their life is very simple. If they have 1 rupee of income, then also 30%, 10 rupees of income, then also 30%, 30 crores of income, then also basic tax is applicable at what percentage? 30%. Let's say there is a partnership from ABC and company. Total income is 45 lakh. So tell me, what will be the tax payable if the total income is 45 lakh? If the total income is 45 lakh, what will be the total income? So can I say first what we'll do? 45 lakh into 30%. That will be the basic tax. So basic tax will come to 13 lakh 50,000. In that 13 lakh 50,000, what we will add? 4% health and education cess. So that comes to 14 lakh 4,000. And that is what the tax payable of a partnership firm is. 30% flat rate plus 4% health and education cess. Are you understanding? It's too simple. Nothing difficult in this. Then the basic tax which we are going to discuss is of cooperative society. Now tell me, cooperative society, where it is actually covered in the definition of person. Cooperative society, where it is covered in the definition of person. AOP, association of person. And the rate of taxes for association of person we already saw, old regime ya 115 BAC. But cooperative society has some separate tax rate. So all other association of person had that common tax rate. Cooperative society has some different tax rate. These are also slab rate. But see which kind of tax rate they have given. If the total income of this cooperative society is up to 10,000, tax rate will be 10%. If their income is in between 10,000 to 20,000, the tax rate will be 20%. And if the total income is going above 20,000, tax rate will be 30%. Overall 4% size is though applicable over here also. Tell me one thing. What is the basic exemption limit over here? What is the basic exemption limit applicable? Nothing. Can we say from very first rupee 10% is applicable? There is nothing called basic exemption limit. Like for partnership firm also, from the very first rupee 30% tax rate is applicable. Even there is also no basic exemption limit. So the word basic exemption limit comes only when up to certain extent zero tax is applicable. Here though from the very first rupee tax is applicable. And that's why basic exemption limit is not applicable in cooperative society also. It is not applicable in partnership firm also. So what are the basic tax rate of cooperative society? Up to 10,000, 10%, 10,000 to 20,000, 20%, above 20,000, 30%. Are you understanding up to now? Now, what is the very next status over here? Company. What is the tax rate applicable in our country for a company? If you are a foreign company, means the company which is not registered in India, not having registered office in India, for that company, flat 35% is the tax rate. So it is somewhat more tax that we are collecting, but that is okay. To a foreign company, how much is the tax rate? Flat 35% plus 4% cess. And for a domestic company, the tax rate is 30%. So foreign company 35%, domestic company 30%. However, if you are a small domestic company, small not as per Companies Act, if you are a small domestic company, the tax rate will be only 25%. So to a normal domestic company, a big domestic company, 30% tax rate is applicable, but to the small domestic company, only 25% tax rate is applicable. Question arises, how to see whether that company is a small company or not? If the turnover, what is the meaning of turnover? Sales. If the turnover is less than or equal to 400 crore, up to 400 crore, the company is a smaller one, only 25% tax rate applicable. Of which year turnover we have to see? Now see, understand. Which year tax rate we are looking as of now? 24-25. So we can't see the turnover of 24-25 to decide the tax rate. Because there is a concept called advance tax that we will study later on, much afterwards. But in that concept, we will see that you should know your tax rate in the beginning of the year. But the sales of this year will be determined only after the end of the year. So I cannot see the turnover of 24-25 to decide the tax rate of 24-25. Then one option is we could have seen the turnover of 23-24. Government has said no. Why? The budget of 24-25 comes on 1st February 24. And can I say on 1st February 24, financial year 23-24 is still open? If government announce that if your turnover in the year 23-24 is up to 400 crore, then in upcoming financial year, only 25% will be your tax rate. What people will do? Books of account is still open on the date of budget. So people will manipulate that books of account in the year 23-24 so as their turnover is up to 400 crore. So that in the next financial year, the tax rate comes only 25%. And hence what government said, we will see the base, we will see the turnover of the year of which books are already closed on the date of budget. So which year books are already closed on the date of budget? 22-23. People cannot manipulate the books of account of 22-23 on this budget date. And hence government said the turnover limit of 400 crore is to be compared with the turnover of 22-23. And based on that, the rate of tax will be decided for 24-25. So what is the conclusion now? For a foreign company, the tax rate will be always 35%. For a domestic company, the general tax rate is 30%. However, if your turnover of 22-23 is less than or equal to 400 crore, the tax rate will be only 25%. For which year? 24-25. Means you have to see the turnover of current year? No. Preceding year? No. Preceding to preceding year. We have to see the turnover of preceding to preceding year, and based on that, we will decide the tax rate of 24-25. Tell me, what if I am a newly incorporated domestic company in the year 24-25? I am having no turnover at all because I was not there. Then can I say your turnover in 22-23 was zero? And if it was zero, it is less than or equal to 400 crore. Your tax rate in 24-25 will be 25%. So if you are a newly incorporated company, the tax rate will be 25%. See what I have written ultimately. Foreign company 35%, domestic company 30%. If gross recipient turnover of 22-23 is up to 400 crore, then it will become 25%. Okay, let's solve this example. Tata Limited, gross total income 60 lakh, deductions 2 lakh. Turnover of 24-25 500 crore, turnover of 22-23 100 crore. What will be the tax payable for previous year 24-25? You tell me the amount of tax payable for the year 24-25. Tell me the amount of tax payable for the year 24-25. First of all, whether tax is applicable on gross total income or total income? Total income. So can I say first of all, we have to find out total income. Gross total income 60 lakh minus deductions comes to 2 lakh. So what is the remaining total income over here? 58 lakh. And on this we will calculate our tax. Now tell me what is the basic tax rate that will be applicable? How much percentage? 30% or 25% or 35%? First of all, it is Tata Limited. As per the name, we can judge that this company is a domestic company. And the turnover of 20 to 23 is only 100 crore, that is less than or equal to 400 crore. What is the tax rate applicable as of now? 25%. So 58 lakh into 25%, what will be my basic tax? 14 lakh 50,000. Ultimately, I have to add 4% health and education cess. Total tax will be 15 lakh 8,000. Now tell me, what if this company was a foreign company? Then what will be the tax payable? If this is a foreign company. If this is a foreign company, can I say total income will remain same, 58 lakh. But the basic tax now will change to 35%. So 58 lakh into 35%, it will be 20 lakh 30,000. Plus ultimately 4% cess is also applicable. So what will be the final tax payable? 21 lakh 11,200. My tax will substantially increase because my tax rate is 5% higher than the normal one. This was the smaller company. My tax rate gap is 10% from 25 to directly 35%. Are you understanding this? So for all the status, we are done with the basic tax. And 4% health and education also we saw. Let us just quickly revise basic tax for all. First, we discussed for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Either it is an old regime or it is default tax regime, that is section 115 BAC. Now, if I'm going into old regime, three columns are there. First column covers whom? Resident individual below 60 plus HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP plus all non-resident individual. Can I say up to 2,50,000 there is no tax? 250 to 5 lakh 5%, 5 lakh to 10 lakh 20%, above 10 lakh 30%. Second column says that if you are a resident individual of age 60 or more, senior citizen, can I say up to 3 lakh there will be no tax, 3 lakh to 5 lakh 5%, 5 lakh to 10 lakh 20%, above 10 lakh 30%. Third column, if you are a resident individual of age 80 or more, you will be called as very senior citizen. Up to 5 lakh there will be no tax. 5 lakh to 10 lakh 20%, above 10 lakh 30%. But if you are following that 115 BAC, that is default tax regime, then in that case your tax rate will become up to 3 lakh 0, 3 lakh to 7 lakh 5%, 7 lakh to 10 lakh 10%, 10 lakh to 12 lakh 15%, 12 lakh to 15 lakh 20%, above 15 lakh 30%. For a partnership firm, LLP, local authority, what is the tax rate? Flat 30%. For a cooperative society, what is the tax rate? Up to 10,000 10%, 10,000 to 20,000 20%, above 20,000 30%. What is the tax rate applicable for a company? Foreign company 35%, domestic company 30%. But if the turnover of 20 to 23 is less than or equal to 400 crore, then current year tax rate will become 25%. And on all this basic tax, ultimately what we need to add? 4% health and education cess. Are you getting this? Okay. Now solve this example. It is an example on basic exemption limit. You have to tell me for each and every case, what will be the basic exemption limit? Assuming that the person has opted out of 115 BAC. Achha, what is the meaning of opted out of 115 BAC? That means the person is following old tax system. Old tax system. Okay. Tell me, Mr. A, 65 years of age. He is a resident. What will be the basic exemption limit? Right? 3 lakh rupees. 3 lakh rupees will become the basic exemption limit. Okay, Mr. B, 59 years, non-resident. What will be the basic exemption limit? 2 lakh 50,000. Okay, Mr. C, 85 years, non-resident. Tell me, he's of the age 85. What will be the basic exemption limit? Can I say year doesn't matter because the person is a non-resident, and to a non-resident the limit will always be what? 2,50,000. Acha, tell me AHUF. It is incorporated since 70 years and it is resident. What will be the basic exemption limit? Again, age etc. does not matter. To HUF, the limit will always be what? 2,50,000. Tell me, what if these four persons are following 115 DAC? That is the new tax system. If they are going for this new tax system, what will be the tax rate applicable? If they are going for this new tax system, can I say we don't care what is the age, what is your residential status? For everybody, the basic exemption limit will be what? 3 lakh, 3 lakh, 3 lakh, 3 lakh. Are you getting my point? Acha, tell me, ABC and Company, can I say it is the name of a partnership firm? What will be the basic exemption limit? Zero. Because to a partnership firm, from the very first rupee, 30% tax rate is applicable. So ultimately, basic exemption limit will come to what? Zero. Acha, Reliance Limited, can I say it is a name of a domestic company? Tell me, what will be the basic exemption limit? Zero. Because again, from the very first rupee, either 25% or 30% tax rate will be applicable. Fine. So this is how we calculate our basic tax. This is how we see our basic exemption limits. Now, if you remember that structure, if you remember that flow that I discussed yesterday, then that after total income, first we calculate our basic tax, then it comes one more step, rebate ya to surcharge. Then we will add 4% health and education cess. What I just did in all the examples today, I calculated basic tax. I directly added 4% health and education cess. I have not discussed about rebate. I have not discussed about surcharge. The simple reason for that, in all those examples, neither rebate was coming into the picture nor surcharge. Now we have to understand these two concepts, rebate and surcharge. Let us first discuss about rebate. What do you understand by this word rebate? In a very simple language, rebate means discount. Rebate means discount. The section in which discussion of rebate is there, section 87A. Section 87A of Income Tax Act 1961 is all about rebate. It is such a section that you will definitely forget in your exam. See, I generally tell 20 to 25 things in the entire DT, which is hidden adjustment, which student generally tends to forget. And I will always revise you by saying that, these things you will forget in the exam. Try not to forget. Try not to forget. 87A is the hidden adjustment. Now, what is rebate, first of all? If you are a eligible person, as per this section, then government says, we don't want your entire basic tax. First, you calculate your basic tax, but you are an eligible person. You are having total income up to certain level. So basically, we want to give you discount in the tax. And hence, from the basic tax, they will deduct certain discount. That discount is ultimately called as what? Rebate. And then if any tax is still payable, on that 4% health and education cess will be applicable. So first you have to see who is eligible person. He is eligible if his income is up to a certain level, and then he will get a discount from the basic tax. Now let us see the eligibility criteria of 87A. It is same like you are ordering some food on Swiggy or Zomato, and the menu card rate will be same for all. But you are a particular person to whom one coupon is applicable. So you will apply that coupon. And because of that coupon, you will get a discount from your final menu card rate. This discount, this rebate works in a same manner. So basic tax will be computed like it is computed for all. But you are a special person who is covered under this section. So from your basic tax, government will give you a discount. That is a rebate. And on the balance tax, ultimately 4% says applicable, and that will be your tax payable. Now see who is eligible for this discount. Resident, individual, whose total income, what is the meaning of total income? Gross total income minus deduction under chapter 6A. That is ultimately taxable income, total income. So if you are a resident, individual, your total income is up to rupees 5 lakh. Your total income is up to rupees 5 lakh. That is less than or equal to 5 lakh. Then government said you calculate first of all your basic tax, and from that basic tax you take a rebate. What is the rebate that government is offering? Basic tax or 12,500, whichever is lower, means maximum discount available is 12,500, and then whatever is the balance tax, add 4% says, if any. Okay, who is eligible for this section? Let us repeat it once. Resident, individual, total income is up to rupees 5 lakh. And how much rebate is applicable? Basic tax or 12,500, whichever is lower. Okay. Let's say I'm a resident person, Mr. A. My age is 50 years. My total income is, let's say, 3 lakh rupees. First of all, forget about rebate. Tell me, what is my basic tax? What is my basic tax? If I'm a resident individual, aged below 60, total income is 3 lakh, what will be my basic tax? So can I say up to 2,50,000 it is 0. From 250 to 3 lakh, what I have to apply? 5%. So on 50,000, 5%, that comes to what? 2,500. This is my basic tax. But now understand, I can't add 4% health and education cess. Reason? I'm a resident individual. Total income is less than or equal to 5 lakh. I'm eligible for rebate, hidden adjustment. Now from this basic tax, I will deduct rebate under section 87A. Achha, how much discount is available? 100% of your basic tax or 12,500, whichever is lower. What is whichever is lower in this case? Full 2,500. So balance tax payable is 0. And then add 4% says that in Kelsey also it will be 0. Something okay. So moral of the story, rebate is deducted first, then cess will come. It cannot be used vice versa. Okay. Tell me, what if I'm a person, Mr. A, aged 40 years, resident. Total income is 4,50,000. Tell me, forget about rebate. What is my basic tax? Calculate. What is my basic tax? I'm asking all as per old regime. As per old regime. Tell me, what is my basic tax? As per old regime. Basically, can I say over here, my basic tax up to 2,50,000 0. 250 to 4,50,000, it will be 5%. That will be 2 lakh into 5%. It will be 10,000. But now I am a resident individual. Total income is less than or equal to 5 lakh. To me, can I say rebate is applicable? 87A. How much rebate is applicable? Basic tax or 12,500, whichever is lower. And what is whichever is lower in this case? 10,000. So ultimate tax payable will come to 0. Okay, so first we have to check whether we are eligible or not. Once we see that yes, we are eligible, then whether our income is up to certain level, that is up to 5 lakh? If yes, then only we can deduct the rebate. Acha, so don't you think over here government has replaced the basic exemption limit with 5 lakh? Because there will be no tax na, if my income is up to 5 lakh. So can I say government has replaced the basic exemption limit? No. Basic exemption limit is applicable while you calculate basic tax. And we are calculating basic tax in the same manner as we were doing earlier. We are deducting discount as a separate column than after. We are reducing the discount after the basic tax, which is separate calculation. So it is not replacing my basic tax. My basic tax is still 10,000 in this example. Discount is deducted afterward. And hence the basic exemption limit is not changed. Discount is altogether a separate function to follow. Tell me, what will happen in this example if the person is a non-resident? What will happen over here if the person is a non-resident? Tell me. Can I say basic tax will remain same, 10,000. But now I cannot deduct rebate. The simple reason is rebate is applicable only to resident individual, not to non-resident individual. And hence rebate cannot be deducted. Balance tax will be 10,000 plus ultimately I have to do 4% health and education cess. Total comes to 10,400. So yes, rebate is applicable only if you are eligible. Here non-resident is not eligible. Okay, tell me, Mr. A, 30 years. Total income is let's say 6 lakh. What will be the tax payable? Total income is 6 lakh. What will be the tax payable? First, what I have to calculate? Basic tax. How much basic tax will be there? Up to 2,50,000 zero. 250 to 5 lakh, it will be 5%. That will be 12,500. 5 to 6 lakh, 20%. 1 lakh into 20% will become 20,000. So total basic tax will become 32,500. But now can I say, can I deduct 87 acre rebate? No. Because the total income of this person is more than 5 lakh. Can I say this person is not eligible for rebate? And hence, we don't have to think about rebate. Rebate will be zero. Balance tax will be 32,500 plus 4% cess. 32,500 plus 4% cess comes to a 33,800. So my total tax payable will be 33,800. I don't have to think about rebate because my income is more than 5 lakh. We have to think about rebate only if the total income is up to 5 lakh. Why government brought this section? Just to make middle class persons of this country happy. That way your basic tax was there earlier much. Because of the rebate, your tax is getting reduced. So obviously it is a benefit to a middle class. Why I'm saying middle class? The person who is having income up to 5 lakh will only get the rebate benefit now. Obviously he will be called as a middle class. And if the income is more than 5 lakh, rebate is not at all applicable. Now please understand, what is the core focus of government? Though government has said that by there are two tax system, one is old system, one is 115 BAC, but from the core heart, government wants each and every person to follow 115 BAC because it reduces the tax compliances, it reduces the fake deductions that people were taking. So government heart wants that all of them shift to 115 BAC. And that's why from your attempt, there is one amendment. And what is that amendment? Tell me, who can claim rebate under 87A? A resident individual if the total income is up to rupees 5 lakh. And how much maximum rebate is applicable to them? 12,500. But if you are a person following 115 BAC, the rebate benefit is applicable to a resident individual if total income is up to 7 lakh. So instead of 5 lakh, the limit is increased up to 7 lakh. And how much rebate will be applicable? Basic tax or 25,000, whichever is lower. The amount of rebate is also increased. So if you follow the old regime, rebate will be applicable up to 5 lakh income. But if you follow new tax regime, the rebate will be applicable up to the income of 7 lakh. And if you have heard the latest budget, which came on 1st February 2025, which is not applicable to you, that will be applicable from May 26 attempt. From next year, this 7 lakh limit is further enhanced to 12 lakh rupees. So a huge benefit to majority crowd. But you don't have to remember that 12 lakh rupees. That will be applicable from May 26 when you must have came to final CA. But for you people, what is the limit in new tax regime? 7 lakh. And what is the maximum rebate applicable? 25,000. But if you follow old regime, what is the limit? 5 lakh. What is the rebate amount? 12,500. See what I have written over here? Rebate 87A. Only for resident individual. Total income does not exceed rupees 5 lakh. Rebate will be from basic tax 12,500 or basic tax, whichever is lower. However, if 115 BSE followed, then rebate will be applicable if total income is up to rupees 7 lakh. And what will be the rebate amount? Basic tax or 25,000, whichever is lower. Now, there is one marginal relief concept also with regards to this rebate, specifically if you follow 115 BSE. But this is related to 115 BSE, and hence I will explain that concept in the chapter called 115 BSE later on. As of now, I'm not discussing that. So I have written in the bracket, in 115 BSE, for rebate also marginal relief is given, but that concept will do in 115 BSE chapter. Okay, I'm giving you some time over here. Assume that person has opted out of 115 BSE, yani ki what he is following? Old regime. Calculate this 3 question. Calculate and tell me the tax payable in all these 3 particular question. Meanwhile, you are calculating, just one thing to clarify. This concept is only for a resident individual. HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, even though to them slab rate is applicable, to them rebate concept is not applicable. They have to calculate basic tax and directly they will add 4% cess. This concept is only for individual, that to resident. Okay, let us do the first question first of all. Resident individual, total income is 4,60,000. Tell me what will be the basic tax? If nothing is said, assume that the person is below 60. So up to 2,50,000, 0. Now 250 till 4,60,000, the tax rate will be 5%. So now it will come to 10,500. Whether this person is eligible for rebate? Tell me whether he is eligible for rebate. Yes, he is resident individual. His total income is less than or equal to 5 lakh. He is eligible for rebate. How much rebate is applicable? Basic tax or 12,500, whichever is lower. So tell me how much rebate I will get over here? 10,500. So what will be my balance tax payable? 0. Now tell me, what if the person is a non-resident? What change will be done in the answer? Can I say first of all, basic tax will remain same? Because earlier also first column, this is also first column of that old regime. Tell me what will be rebate over here? 0. Because rebate is not applicable to non-resident. So what is the tax payable? 10,500. And ultimately I have to add 4% health and education cess. That comes to 10920. Now solve this. Resident individual, aged 65 years. Total income is 5,10,000. First of all, tell me what will be the basic tax. What will be the basic tax over here? Can we say up to 3 lakh there will be no tax because the person is a resident senior citizen. Don't forget that. Basic exemption limit is 3 lakh. 3 lakh to 5 lakh, 5%, that comes to 10,000. 5 lakh to 5 lakh 10,000, that is on balance 10,000. 20%, that means 2,000. Total basic tax 12,000. Are you understanding this? So up to 3 lakh 0, 3 lakh to 5 lakh 5%, that comes to 10,000. 5 lakh till 5 lakh 10,000, that is on balance 10,000. I have to apply 20%, that is 2,000. Total basic tax 12,000. Tell me, rebate applicable or not applicable? Rebate applicable or not applicable? Not applicable because the person is not a eligible person. Why he is not a eligible person? Because his total income is now more than 5 lakh. And if you are not eligible, then you don't have to think about amounts. You are not anyways getting rebate now because you are not eligible. Your income has exceeded 5 lakh. You are out of this discount coupon. This coupon is not applicable for you. So now directly you have to add 4% cess. Total tax will be 12480. Are you getting my point? Now, do one thing. Calculate tax payable of this person if he follow 115 BAC. And let us assume the total income remains same. Total income remains same. What will be the tax payable if this person follows 115 BAC? Tell me. First of all, we will calculate basic tax. Tell me basic tax. What are the slab rate over there? Up to 3 lakh 0 for all. 3 lakh to 7 lakh 5%, 7 lakh to 10 lakh 10%, 10 lakh to 12 lakh 15%, 12 lakh to 15 lakh 20%, above 15 lakh 30%. Over here, tell me what will be the basic tax. Can I say it will be like this? Up to 3 lakh 0, 3 lakh till 5 lakh 10,000. On that entire one, only 5%. So 2 lakh 10,000 into 5%, it will come to 10,500 plus 4% says, right? No. Here I have to deduct 87 A ka rebate. Why? He's a resident individual and total income is less than or equal to 7 lakh. Because in 115 BAC, the limit comes to 7 lakh. So now he will be eligible for rebate. How much rebate is eligibility in 115 BAC? Basic tax or 25,000, whichever is lower. So how much rebate he will get? Full 10,500. What will be his tax payable? 0. So he is into the benefit if he follow 115 BAC. Fine. So what is the conclusion now? First, you have to calculate your basic tax as per the slab rate, as per the flat rates, whatever we understood up to now. Now, once that is done, then you have to see whether you are eligible for rebate or not. Rebate comes under with section 87A. It don't comes in every year's budget. It is already written under the section of income tax, and that is 87A. Under the old regime, who is eligible for rebate? Resident individual, total income is up to 5 lakh. What is the rebate? Basic tax or 12,500, whichever is lower. Under 115 BAC, who is eligible? Resident individual, total income is up to 7 lakh. And what will be the rebate? Basic tax or 25,000, whichever is lower. Acha, rebate is to be deducted after cess or before cess? Before cess. And if then any tax is remaining, we have to add 4% health and education cess. I'm giving you just 1 minute. Just brush up this concept once. Just have a quick overview. Now, we saw the concept called rebate. So we understood that those who are middle class, whose income is up to a certain level, will get a heavy discount from their tax payable. They will become happy. But can I say, because of this discount, there will be so much loss to the treasury of government. Government will not get the tax revenue because of this rebate, which they were getting earlier. So how this country will work? Country is already in deficit. Because of this rebate, country will be in more deficit. And hence, to cover up the deficit, government came up with a concept called surcharge. Let me tell you the history. In 2014, Congress government brought up the concept of rebate much prior to the election. And to cover up the loss due to rebate in the same year that they came up with the concept called surcharge. In 2019, the limit of rebate was increased and then it became 5 lakh. Earlier it was something different. And just because the rebate was increased, along with that surcharge was also increased. So finally, the surcharge concept came into the picture just to cover up the loss due to rebate. Surcharge is not having any section. It comes every year in the budget. What is surcharge? In some easy manner, surcharge means tax on the tax for rich people. So middle class is getting discount. Rich people is getting further tax. And that is called surcharge. Tax on the tax for rich people. Rebate is applicable only to resident individual. But when they introduce surcharge, they said we will introduce on all resident, non-resident, individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, firm, company, to each and everybody surcharge is applicable if they earn somewhat more amount. It is totally reverse concept. Na? See, rebate is a discount, surcharge is addition. Rebate is for middle class, surcharge is for rich people. Rebate is only for resident individual, surcharge is for each and every category. Different limits, different rate. First, let us understand the concept of surcharge for that 5 people to whom slab rates are applicable. Who are they? Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. To whom you know the slab rate is applicable for the basic tax. Now, government says if your total income is less than or equal to 50 lakh, your total income is less than or equal to 50 lakh. No surcharge needed. Whatever is your basic tax plus 4% cess, that is more than enough. If your total income is more than 50 lakh, but up to 1 crore, 10% surcharge will be applicable. Means your basic tax, you have to add more 10% of basic tax. Then whatever will come, on that you have to add 4% health and education cess. More 10% tax levied. Not on total income, this surcharge will be calculated on basic tax. If your total income is more than 1 crore but less than or equal to 2 crore, the surcharge rate will now be 15%. Calculate basic tax, add 15%, add 4% cess. If your total income is more than 2 crore but less than or equal to 5 crore, the rate of surcharge will become 25%. And if your total income is more than 5 crore, you should not have taken birth in India. Your surcharge rate will become 37%. Means first you calculate your basic tax, add 37% of that basic tax, add 4% health and education cess. A super surcharge. Now this 25 and 37% is called as higher surcharge. Earlier, the surcharge which was there was only up to 15%. Later on, Nirmala Sitharaman madam came up with this two surcharge rate, 25% and 37%, which she only call it higher surcharge. So if you are earning high amount, you have to pay higher tax. That is the simple funda. And that's why yesterday also I said that our income tax is a basically progressive tax. Higher the income, higher the tax. So tell me, what is the finally rate of surcharge and to whom it is applicable? If your total income is up to 50 lakh, no surcharge at all. If total income is more than 50 lakh but up to 1 crore, 10%. 1 crore to 2 crore, 15%, 2 crore to 5 crore, 25%, more than 5 crore, 37%. Tell me whether this surcharge is slab rate or fixed. Obviously, flat rate. Means first you have to see under which category your income falls into. Let's say my income is 2.5 CR. So can I say it is covered under this particular point? So against that, what is the rate of surcharge? 25%. I will directly apply 25%. Acha, this all limits 50 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore is called as threshold. What it will be called as? Threshold. Threshold means basically limits. Limits, the second name is what? Threshold. Okay, quickly give me the answer what I asked you. What if my income is 50 lakh? What will be the rate of surcharge? Exact 50 lakh. What will be the rate of surcharge? Zero. Because surcharge is applicable only if your income is more than 50 lakh. Achha, exactly 1 crore. Then what will be the rate of surcharge? 10%. Because 10% is applicable up to 1 crore. More than 1 crore, then 15% will apply. What if my income is, let's say, 5.5 crore? Can I say this is more than 5 crore? The rate of surcharge will be 37%. What if my total income is 4 crore? Can I say it is more than 2 crore, but up to 5 crore? Then the rate of surcharge will be 25%. So this 25% surcharge will be applicable on this total income? No. First, basic tax will be calculated. On that, this percentage will get applied. Achha, this surcharge rate is only for those 5 people who they are individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. If total income is more than 50 lakh but up to 1 crore, the surcharge rate will be 10%. More than 1 crore but up to 2 crore, 15%. More than 2 crore but up to 5 crore, 25%. More than 5 crore, 37%. Achha, I have written so many things into bracket, but all these things are related to capital gain chapter. We will do this surcharge ka topic again in capital gain chapter that I have written also, again to be done in capital gain. Because there is something to understand related to surcharge with regards to capital gain. But now it is not useful for us. This I have written only for your last day revision. Because on last day you are knowing capital gain also, basic concept also. So you can merge that. Achha, what government wants that all the people should start following 115 BAC? First step was they have reduced the tax rate. Second step, they have increased the limit of rebate. That if you follow 115 BAC, rebate is applicable if total income is up to 7 lakh. Third step, to attract the rich people, what government said, if you follow 115 BAC, your higher surcharge will be only 25%, 37% surcharge rate will not apply. Means even though your income is more than 5 crore, the rate of surcharge will still be 25% if you follow what? 115 BAC. For old region, even 37% applicable. For 115 BAC, maximum surcharge will be 25%. Okay. See, I have written one example over here. Assuming the person has opted out of 115 BAC, old region. Let's say there is a person called Mr. Agam. If nothing is said, I am resident below 60. Total income is 63 lakh. First, what you will do? You will calculate basic tax. First, you will calculate basic tax. So can I say we have remembered a ninja technique that up to 10 lakh the tax is fixed, 1,12,500. And more than 10 lakh, can I say it will be 30%. So the total basic tax comes to 17,02,500. Now, if you observe, your total income is more than 50 lakh, but less than or equal to 1 crore. And hence, how much surcharge will get applied? 10%. So on this basic tax, we will add 10% surcharge. That total comes to 18,72,750. And on that, we will apply 4% health and education cess. Total comes to 19,47,660. So first basic tax. On that, you have to add the rate of surcharge. On that subtotal, you have to add 4% health and education cess. That comes to your tax payable. So tell me, surcharge comes before health and education says or after health and education says? Before. Then what is the subtotal? On that 4% says will apply. Means 4% says will always come at the end. It will come always at the end. Okay, my second question. What if in a question, rebate is also there and surcharge is also there? Let's say the question is of resident individual. So rebate will also come. It may be possible surcharge can also come. If both the concepts are there together, what you will apply first? Rebate or surcharge? First you will deduct rebate or first you will add surcharge? Don't think this kind of stuff. Huh? These two things cannot come together. Hey, either you can be middle class or you can be rich. How you can be rich middle class? Not possible. Na? Either rebate will come or surcharge will come. So this is so if at the night, 12 o'clock you get this doubt that what if these two things come together? It can never come together. Either it will be rebate or it will be surcharge or it will be nothing. Like your total income is more than 5 lakh but less than 50 lakh. So can I say neither rebate applicable nor surcharge applicable? If income is up to 5 lakh, then what will apply? Rebate, provided you are a resident individual. If your income is more than 50 lakh, what will apply? Surcharge. Acha, solve this question. Assume old regime, Mrs. Dalal 65 years, non-resident. Total income is 6 crore. You need to calculate tax payable. Giving you 2 minutes. Calculate tax payable. With the tax payable. Okay. First, we need to calculate basic tax. Now, don't see the age. The person is a non-resident. Can I say the limit of 2,50,000 will be applicable? So up to 10 lakh, the tax is fixed. 1,12,500. On the income above 10 lakh, that is 5 crore 90 lakh. Can I say 30% will get applied? That comes to 1 crore 77 lakh plus this 1,12,500. Aggregate basic tax will come to 1 crore 78 lakh 12,500. Now, can I say, even though the person is non-resident, surcharge is anyways applicable. But can I say now the surcharge rate will become 37% because the income is more than 5 crore. So if I add 37% surcharge in this, total comes to 2 crore 44 lakh 3,125. And in this, I have to add 4% health and education cess. Total comes to 2 crore 53 lakh 79,250. In the income of 6 crore, I have to pay a tax of 2 crore 53 lakh 79,250. Indirectly, if I tell you, if I'm working for 12 months in a year, approximately 5 months I'm working for government because that much tax will be directly taken by government in the name of basic tax plus surcharge plus 4% cess. Okay, tell me if the same person is following 115 BAC, then what will be the total tax payable? If the same person is following 115 BAC, tell me, giving you again 2 minutes. If the same person is following 115 BAC, so first of all, what will change? Basic tax. Now, can I say in 115 BAC for each and every person, 3 lakh rupees is the limit? Now, can I say up to 3 lakh it will be 0? 3 lakh to 7 lakh it will be 5%. 4 lakh into 5% that comes to 20,000. 7 lakh till 10 lakh it comes to basically 10%. So that comes to 30,000. 10 lakh till 12 lakh it comes to 15%. So again that comes to 30,000. 12 lakh to 15 lakh it is 20%. So it comes to 60,000. So okay, 3 lakh 0, 3 lakh to 7 lakh that will have to apply 5%, that will become 20,000. 7 lakh to 10 lakh on that 3 lakh we will apply 10%, that will be 30,000. On that 10 lakh to 12 lakh we will apply 15%. So 2 lakh into 15% that again comes to 30,000. 12 lakh to 15 lakh 20% that again comes to what? 60,000. So ultimately the tax up to now is 1 lakh 40,000. This is a ninja technique that you remember for 115 BAC. Up to 15 lakh, tax will come to 1 lakh 40,000. And above 15 lakh, it will be 30%. Like we have remembered, up to 10 lakh in old regime, it is 1 lakh 12,500. So please now remember in 115 BAC up to 15 lakh, 1 lakh 40,000, more than that, 30%. So what is above, over and above 15 lakh over here? Can I say 6 crore minus 15 lakh, 6 crore minus 15 lakh, and on that we will apply 30%. Plus this 14 lakh rupees, total basic tax will come to 1 crore 89 lakh 50,000. Now on this, what surcharge I will apply? How much surcharge I will apply over here? Can I say the surcharge rate which I will apply over here is 25%? So people, why 25% rate I will apply? The simple reason being 115 BSc maximum surcharge is 25%. 37% rate itself is not applicable. And that's why over here 25% surcharge rate will come, which will come to 2 crore 36 lakh 87,500. Ultimately, I will add 4% health and education cess, which will come to 2 crore 46 lakh 35,000. Are you understanding this, people? This is how the tax rates are calculated in case surcharge is applicable. If 115 BSD is there, maximum rate of surcharge will become 25%. And in case of old regime, it can come to 37% also. Charge which we studied up to now was for 5 category: individual HUF, AOP, BOI, HAP. As I said, surcharge is applicable to all the category. Even it is applicable to firm, even it is applicable to LLP, to local authority, to company. All that surcharge will see in a break after 10 minutes. So I'm giving you a break of 10 minutes. And after that, we'll continue with the balance chapter and we'll see the rate of surcharge further. Thank you so much. We'll exactly see you at 4 o'clock and 33 minutes. Thank you. Yes, dear friends, let us continue with the further lecture. So before we go to break, we have done this question wherein the 6 crore rupees is the total income as per old regime, that is the tax, and as per new regime. A small clerical error has been done in this particular question. Please note it down. See, this basic tax is one, not 1 crore 89 lakh 50,000. If my total income is 6 crore, then over and above 15 lakh, it will be 30%. And up to 15 lakh, it will be 1 lakh 40,000. So can I say 6 crore minus 15 lakh, 30% plus 1 lakh 40,000, it comes to 1 crore 76 lakh 90,000. Over here, my basic tax will become 1 crore 76 lakh 90,000. Let me calculate again. 5 crore 85 lakh into 30% plus 1 lakh 40,000. That will come to 1 crore 76 lakh 90,000. On that, 25% will be the rate of surcharge. And hence that after adding the surcharge, the amount will become 2 crore 21 lakh 12,500. Plus ultimately I have to add 4% health and education cess. That comes to 2 crore 29 lakh 2 crore 29 lakh 97,000. This will be the tax payable in case of 115 BAC. I hope you are understanding this. Now, the rate of surcharge which we saw prior to the break was for 5 people. Which are the 5 people for which we saw that rate of surcharge? Individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Can I say if the income is up to 50 lakh, no surcharge. 50 lakh to 1 crore, 10%. 1 crore to 2 crore, 15%. 2 crore to 5 crore, 25%. More than 5 crore, 37%. Now, what if I'm a firm, LLP, local authority? Tell me what is my basic tax? If I am a firm, LLP, yeah, local authority, what is my basic tax? Can I say the basic tax is 30%, flat 30%? In surcharge also, they have very simple life. If their total income is more than 1 crore, the rate of surcharge will be 12%. Only one rate. If total income is more than 1 crore, the rate of surcharge will be how much? 12%. So tell me, if you are a partnership firm, total income is 3 crore 50 lakh. Can I say the basic tax will be directly flat 30%? That will be 1 crore 5 lakh. And the total income is more than 1 crore. So how much surcharge will be applicable? 12%. And after adding the same, what I have to add again? 4% health and education cess. And hence my tax payable will be 1 crore 22 lakh 30,400. So that life is simple. In that 5%, there are different category, different rate of surcharge. Here only one category, more than 1 crore, 12%. Simple. Tell me, if I am a cooperative society, what is my basic tax? Can I say up to 10,000, 10%? 10,000 to 20,000, 20%? More than 20,000, 30%. But what will be my rate of surcharge over here? If my income is more than 1 crore but up to 10 crore, it will be 7%. And if my income is more than 10 crore, it will be 12%. If you closely observe, for a partnership firm, what is the rate of surcharge? Can I say for a partnership firm, it is more than 1 crore 12%. Government said, okay, we will give concession to the cooperative society because they are generally working in rural areas. So the concession has to be given. Which concession is given? By more than 1 crore up to 10 crore, only 7%. And if it is going more than 10 crore, then the rate of surcharge will be 12%. So the concession is given in the rate of surcharge. So the same rate of surcharge is applicable to domestic company. So for a domestic company, tell me what is the normal basic tax? Can I say to a domestic company, the normal tax rate is 30%. And if the turnover of 20 to 23 is up to 400 crore, the rate of tax is 25%. Now, what is the rate of surcharge applicable to domestic company? If the total income is more than 1 crore but up to 10 crore, 7%. And if the income is more than 10 crore, the rate of surcharge will be 12%. What are the surcharge rate for foreign company? Prior to that, what is the tax rate for a foreign company? 35%. Now, what will be the rate of surcharge? If this foreign company total income is more than 1 crore but up to 10 crore, the rate of surcharge is only 2%. And if the total income is more than 10 crore, income is more than 10 crore, the rate of surcharge over here will be only 5%. So yes, drastically different is there, drastically different, because the simple reason is the foreign company, the tax rate is higher. And if you levy the same kind of surcharge, can I say they will be required to pay a heavy tax. And that's why the rate of surcharge has been minimized, because their basic tax rate is higher. To a normal domestic company, 25%, 30%, surcharge rate 7%, 12%. For foreign company, basic tax rate 35%, rate of surcharge 1 crore to 10 crore 2%, more than 10 crore it will be 5%, and then 4% cess will be applicable. Now let us take one example for a company to understand each and every tax rate. We are comparing four companies over here: Reliance Limited, Tata Limited, let's say Meta, and Apple. As per the name, you can identify this two is domestic company in my example, this two is foreign company. Now let's say the total income is like this: 2 crore, 12 crore, 2 crore, 12 crore. So let's say the turnover of 20 to 23 is like this: 300 crore, 500 crore, 300 crore, 500 crore. Compute tax payable of these four companies. Giving you 2 minutes. Calculate tax payable of these four companies. Calculate tax payable of the same. First of all, Reliance Limited is a domestic company. Turnover of 20 to 23 is less than or equal to 400 crore. So the basic tax rate that will apply is 25%. And on what will apply this tax rate? On total income. And how much is the total income? 2 crore. So on 2 crore, 25%, that comes to 50 lakh rupees. Plus tell me how much surcharge will apply. How much surcharge will apply? Can I say the total income is more than 1 crore but up to 10 crore? So the rate of surcharge which will get applied is 7%. So on this 50 lakh, we will add 7% surcharge. So totaling to 53 lakh 50,000. And finally, we will add 4% health and education cess. That comes to 55 lakh 64,000. Understanding up to now? Tell me, to this domestic company, total income is 12 crore. Turnover of 20 to 23 is more than 400 crore. So what will be the tax rate? Can I say the tax rate will be 30%, which will be applied on the total income? So 12 crore into 30% comes to 3.60 crore. Achha, total income is more than 10 crore. So how much will be the rate of surcharge? 12%. So if we add 12% over here, it will come 4 crore, 3 lakh, 20,000. And in that we will add 4% cess, which will come to 4 crore 19 lakh 32,800. Now, if this foreign company total income is 2 crore, can I say to a foreign company turnover of any year is immaterial because 35% is the compulsory tax rate. So 2 crore into 35% comes to 70 lakh. On that, how much surcharge will be applicable? 2%, because 1 crore to 10 crore, foreign company, the rate of surcharge is 2%. So 70 lakh plus 2% comes to 71 lakh 40,000. And in that, I will add 4% health and education cess, 74 lakh 25,600. Similarly, this company, 12 crore, on that again 35% will be the rate of surcharge, 4.20 crore. How much surcharge will get applied? 5%, because the total income is more than 10 crore. So 4 crore 20 lakh plus 5% comes to 4 crore 41 lakh. And in that, I will add 4% health and education cess, 4 crore 58 lakh 64,000. So this is how we used 25%, 30%, 35%. We used 7%, 12%, 2%, 5%, and ultimately 4% cess. This is the whole and sole example of any company. Now please understand one more thing. Inter CA is majority about individual HUF. You will be asked the question about individual HUF in Inter CA. Firm, company, etc. is a part and parcel of final CA, and that is generally asked in final CA. So the tax rate of company, the surcharge rate of company, firm, this all things will be mainly asked in MCQs. If it is to be asked, it will be asked in MCQs, not under descriptive. Okay, surcharge is done. Now there is a small concept which is again like a hidden adjustment which you will forget in your exam. And that concept is called as rounding off. What that concept is called as basically rounding off. Now this you will forget in your exam. There are two sections, 288A, 288B. Which are the two sections I said? 288A, 288B. What it says that your total income and your tax payable has to be rounded off to the nearest multiple of 0. 10 rupees round off. If let's say my total income is 5 lakh 22,222, I cannot write it as of now like this. I have to do round off. And after doing round off, the total income will be 5,22,220. 10 rupees round off. Acha, what if my total income is 5,22,226? Then I have to round off it to 5,22,230. Acha, what if my total income is 5,22,225? Again, it will be 5,22,230. Means if the last digit of your total income is less than 5, lower side round off. If the last digit of your total income is more than or equal to 5, higher side round off. Which things you need to round off? Two things. Total income also, tax payable also. Total income is to be rounded off as per 288A. Tax payable is to be rounded off as per 288B. And let's say my tax payable comes to 2355. What I will pay to government? I have to round off it and I will have to pay 2360. What if my tax payable is 12,433? I have to round off it to 12,430. So last digit less than 5, lower side. Last digit 5 or more than 5, higher side. This is the fixed system of rounding off. Asha, you don't round off each and everything. I mean, you don't round off basic tax also. You don't round off rebate also. You have to round off the ultimate tax payable. The final tax payable is to be rounded off. Which sections we used? 288A, 288B. 288A says total income to be round off. 288B says tax payable to be round off. Are you understanding my point? Hidden adjustment. You will definitely forget this in exam. And if you forget this, they can deduct 1 or 2 marks because you forgot to apply the section. Okay. last concept of this chapter from my side. Acha, as such, many concepts are still remaining in this chapter. There are so many concepts that I don't teach in this chapter, even though it is given in ICI study material under first chapter, but it is linked to some other chapters. So I generally teach those things in particularly other chapters, and I don't teach those sections or those topics in this first chapter. As of now, we are going to discuss a concept which is called as marginal relief. What is the concept is commonly known as marginal relief. Before we go to marginal relief, let us quickly revise. Let us quickly revise whatever we have done up to now in tax calculation. First, if we discuss about basic tax, individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, they are having two system. Old system 115 BAC. If we calculate tax as per old system, can I say there are three columns: individual, that is resident individual below 60, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, all non-resident individual up to 2,50,000 0, 250 to 5 lakh 5%, 5 lakh to 10 lakh 20%, above 10 lakh 30%. Resident individual of age 60 or more, senior citizen, up to 3 lakh there will be no tax, balance everything will remain same. Resident individual of age 80 or more, whom we call very senior citizen, up to 5 lakh there will be no tax, balance will remain same. Then to a 5 people, that is individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, what is the tax rate applicable as per default tax regime, that is new tax regime, that is section 115 BAC. Up to 3 lakh no tax, 3 lakh to 7 lakh 5%, 7 lakh to 10 lakh 10%, 10 lakh to 12 lakh 15%, 12 lakh to 15 lakh 20%, above 15 lakh 30%. Achha, what is the tax rate of firm, LLP, local authority? Flat 30%. Cooperative society up to 10,000 10%, 10,000 to 20,000 20%, above 20,000 30%. Domestic company 30%. But if the turnover of 20 to 23 is less than or equal to 400 crore, then it will be reduced to 25%. Achha, foreign company, what it will be? 35%. Then we saw the concept called rebate under section 87A. If you are a resident individual, your total income is up to rupees 5 lakh, you will get a rebate, basic tax or 12,500, whichever is lower. And if you follow 115 resident individual, total income is up to 7 lakh. And what will be the rebate? Basic tax or 25,000, whichever is lower. Then we saw surcharge. Individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. If the total income is up to 50 lakh, no surcharge. 50 lakh to 1 crore, 10%. More than 1 crore, up to 2 crore, 15%. More than 2 crore, up to 5 crore, it will be 25%. More than 5 crore, 37%. And what if you follow 115 BAC? Maximum surcharge will be 25%. For a firm, LLP, local authority, more than 1 crore, 12%. Cooperative society and domestic company, more than 1 crore, up to 10 crore, 7%. More than 10 crore, 12%. And if you are a foreign company, 12%. Can I say if you are a foreign company, more than 1 crore up to 10 crore, 2%, more than 10 crore, 5%. Achha, what are the sections of rounding off? 288A, 288B. What 288A says? Total income is to be round off. 288B says tax payable to be round off. Both are to be round off to nearest multiple of 10 rupee. If the last digit is less than 5, to lower side. More than or equal to 5, higher side. Now, the next concept which comes to our way is marginal relief. So, the name of the concept is basically marginal relief. Now, what is this concept all about and how it works? I will ask you some question and you give me the answer of that, and then we'll decide. I am following old regime. I am resident individual below age of 60. My total income is exactly 50 lakh. Tell me, what is my tax payable before health and education cess. Don't add health and education cess. Just tell me my tax payable before health and education cess. If my total income is 50 lakh. So can I say up to 10 lakh, it will be 1,12,500. On balance 40 lakh, it will be 30%. So the total tax will be 13,12,500. 4% says not to be added. Surcharge not to be added because income is not more than 50 lakh. It is exactly 50 lakh. Now let's say mistakenly I earned more money. Mistakenly. And now my total income is, let's say, 51 lakh. Tell me, what will be my tax before health and education cess? Now, what will be my tax before health and education cess? So can I say up to 10 lakh, 1,12,500. On the balance, that is 41 lakh, what I have to apply? 30%. So total tax comes to 13 lakh 42,500. But now 10% surcharge will also get applied because my income is more than 50 lakh. So when I say plus, I have to do 10%. Total will be 14 lakh 76,750. Okay. Observe this scenario. Kindly observe this scenario. Can I say the scenario says that if my income is 50 lakh, my tax is 13 lakh 12,500. If my income is 51 lakh, my tax is 14 lakh 76,750. What you observe? What is wrong over here? There is something wrong. Can I say my income increased by 1 lakh, but my tax increased by 1,64,250? Means due to there is an increase of the income, surcharge got applied, and because of that surcharge, my tax increased by 1,64,250. Means whatever I have earned extra, that 100% went with government. That is okay. Over and above that, I have to pay 64,250. Why? Because surcharge is applicable. This is something wrong, na? If I earn something more, you can tax me. You can tax me higher, but you cannot tax me more than my income. And that's why this is a totally mathematical confusion. Why this happened, you know? Up to 50 lakh, there was no surcharge. But when your income exceeded 50 lakh, the surcharge got applied on the entire basic tax. And that created this confusion. Government said, okay, we are ready to give you relief. And what is the relief government gave us? 64,250. That is the tax which is more than difference of income. That will be allowed as the relief. That is called as marginal relief. Tell me, now what will become my tax? Up to now it was 14,76,750. From that I will reduce 64,250. So what will be the remaining tax now? 14,12,500. And in that I have to add 4% cess. So what will be my final tax payable? It will be 14,69,000. What happened over here? Now, let me tell you first of all, the concept of marginal relief comes only when there is a surcharge in your question. If there is no surcharge, don't think about marginal relief. Acha, in every example in which there is a surcharge, there will be always marginal relief? No, it is not possible. It may be possible that there is a surcharge, but still there is no marginal relief. So yes, we have to identify in each and every case whether marginal relief is applicable or not. Then exactly when marginal relief will come? If your total income is very near to the threshold of surcharge. Can I say here the threshold of the surcharge was 50 lakh and the total income is 51 lakh. Can I say it is very near to the threshold? And hence this kind of situation arises. What is the exact meaning of marginal relief? If you ask me, the answer is if there is a difference of income and due to that there is a difference of tax. And if the difference of tax is more than difference of income, that excess difference is called as marginal relief. I repeat, if there is a difference of income and due to that there is a difference of tax, and if that difference of tax is more than difference of income, that excess difference is called as marginal relief. And that will be allowed as a discount. And on balance, you will add 4% cess. But sir, here government has given discount only of that excess tax. What about this 1 lakh rupees? We earned 1 lakh, we lost 1 lakh. Correct. It is still there. Government has given discount only of that extra tax, not up to difference of income. That to 100% you have to pay compulsorily because you earned more. You have to pay the tax. Simple. So now tell me, if my total income is 50 lakh, what is the tax before health and education cess? We just calculated 13 lakh 12,500. If my income is let's say 55 lakh, tell me what is my tax before health and education cess? Don't add health and education cess. Just tell me what is the tax before that. So can I say if the total income is 55 lakh, then on balance 45 lakh 30% plus 1 lakh 12,500, that comes to 14 lakh 62,500. Plus I have to add how much? 10% surcharge because income went more than 50 lakh. So 16 lakh 8,750. Now tell me how much marginal relief will be given? How much marginal relief will be given? Why nothing? Income exceed by 5 lakh, but tax has gone only by more than 2,96,250. Can I say difference of tax is not more than difference of income? I am already in concession. There is no need of marginal relief. And hence, here marginal relief do not come because the gap increased. Generally, marginal relief comes when the gap is up to 10%. Whether we will compare always with 50 lakh? No. So it depends on the threshold. Na? What if my total income is 1 crore 3 lakh? Then I will compare my tax with 1 crore because it is the nearest threshold. What if my total income is 2 crore 5 lakh? I will compare with 2 crore because it is the nearest threshold of surcharge. What if my income is 3 crore 10 lakh? Then what is the nearest threshold? 2 crore because now the next threshold is directly 5 crore. And see, 2 crore is the threshold. Income is 3 crore 5 lakh. Can I say gap is too much? I will not look at marginal relief concept because that cannot be the possibility. What if the total income is 5 crore 2 lakh? Then I will compare my tax with 5 crore. So basically, I have to compare with the nearest threshold. And if I see that difference is too small, then marginal relief can come into the picture. Sir, can you tell me the approx income for each and every threshold up to which marginal relief can come? No, I will not tell you. Because see, the age changes, the limit will change. 115 BAC, the limit will change. And so many limits you have to remember. So better you just do a calculation and you see whether marginal relief comes or not. Simple. Acha, tell me. Now I will give you some examples and you need to solve one by one each and every example and we will see whether marginal relief is coming over there or not. First of all, let's say there is a person, Mr. A, whose age is 30 years, he is resident, his total income is 50 lakh 80,000. Calculate tax payable on 50 lakh 80,000. Calculate tax payable. First of all, we have to calculate the basic tax of 50 lakh 80,000. Can I say up to 10 lakh 1 lakh 12,500 on balance 40 lakh 80,000 30%. So the total basic tax comes to 13 lakh 36,500. Now, can I say my income is more than 50 lakh? So how much surcharge is applicable? 10%. If I add 10% surcharge, it will come to 14,70,150. Now I have a huge doubt that my total income is very nearer to the threshold of 50 lakh. So marginal relief might come. So what I will deduct is marginal relief, which I will calculate in working note 1. Whatever will be the balance, I will add 4% health and education cess, and that will be my tax payable. Now let us calculate marginal relief. Let us have a look on working note number 1. So if my total income is 50 lakh 80,000, then what is the tax before health and education cess? We just computed 14 lakh 70,150. What if I earn exactly like my threshold, that is 50 lakh? My tax is 13 lakh 12,500. What is the difference of income? 80,000. What is the difference of tax? Can I say it is 1,57,650? Yani difference of tax is more than difference of income. What is the difference? 77,650. That much will be deducted as marginal relief. 1470,150 minus 77,650. Tax will remain to 13,92,500. And then I will add 4% cess. 14,48,200. This is my tax payment. Acha, question arises, marginal relief applicable only to resident or non-resident also? To all. To all marginal relief is applicable. If they have this kind of scenario, marginal relief will come. Okay, tell me, Mr. A, total income is 1.02 CR, 1 crore 2 lakh. Calculate tax payable. Acha, calculate with due care. Here too many things you have to see. Tell me the tax payable if total income is 1 crore 2 lakh. If total income is 1 crore 2 lakh, calculate the tax over here. First, we will calculate basic tax. Tell me, what is the basic tax of 1 crore 2 lakh? 92 lakh into 30% plus 1 lakh 12,500. That comes to 28 lakh 72,500. Now tell me, how much surcharge I will add over here? Can I say 15%? Because now my income is more than 1 crore. So the rate of surcharge will be 15%. So by adding 15%, it will be 33 lakh 3,375. But now I have a doubt that my income is very nearer to the threshold of 1 crore. So what I will deduct from this? Marginal relief, which I will calculate in working note number 1. And then I will add 4% health and education cess. That will become my tax payable. Now let us come to working note 1. 1 crore 2 lakh is my total income. And on that tax is 33 lakh 3,375. What if I earn exactly up to 1 crore? Then what will be my tax before health and education cess? What will be my tax before health and education cess? So can I say if I earn exactly up to 1 crore, so basic tax will be 90 lakh into 30%, that is 27 lakh, plus 1 lakh 12,500, 28 lakh 12,500. But now I will add surcharge also, because this income is 1 crore on which surcharge is applicable. And how much it will be applicable? 10%. So now the tax will be 30 lakh 93,750. 30 lakh 93,750. Can I say my income increased by 2 lakh? But my tax increased by 2 lakh 9,625. Then how much is the marginal relief applicable over here? 9,625. That much will be deducted from this. So how much will be the balance over here? If I deduct 9625, it will be 32 lakh 93,750. And plus I have to add 4% cess, 34 lakh 25,500. More of the story. Marginal relief comes when earlier there was no surcharge, now there is a surcharge. Or earlier there was a lower rate surcharge, now there is a higher rate surcharge. In both the case, marginal relief can come into the picture. Okay. Calculate tax payable if my total income is 2 crore 3 lakh. Mr. A below 60, old regime. 2 crore 3 lakh is the total income. Calculate tax payable. Calculate. Okay, first I will calculate basic tax. Can I say 1 crore 93 lakh into 30% plus 1 lakh 12,500? That comes 39 lakh 2,500. Plus I will add a surcharge which will be at the rate of 25% because my income exceeded by 2 crore. So 73 lakh 78,125. Now my income is very nearer to the threshold of 2 crore, so that can be marginal relief. I will deduct the same. On balance, 4% health and education cess will be added. Now tell me, if my income is 2 crore 3 lakh, what is the tax over here? 73 lakh 78,125. That is basically 59 lakh 2,500 plus 25%. If my income is exactly 2 crore, which is the threshold, then what will be the basic tax? Can I say 1 crore 90 lakh into 30% plus 1 lakh 12,500, and on that I will add 15% surtax. Because on 2 crore rupees of income, 15% is applicable. So what will be my tax in this case? 66 lakh 84,375. My income increased by 3 lakh, but my tax increased by 6 lakh 93,750. How much marginal relief is applicable? 393,750. So that much I will deduct 393,750. And the balance over here 69 lakh 84,375. I will add 4% cess 72 lakh 63,750 will become my tax payable. Sir, can we disclose this working out in chart format? Obviously, yes. You can disclose this in chart format. And hence, if your logic are clear, this concept is pretty easy. You just need to compare, but it is a logical concept. Huh? You need a brain for this. You need analytical brain for this. You have to compare that what will be the tax of threshold, what is the tax of my total income, how much is the difference, whether my tax is more than difference of income, then yes, that much will be allowed as marginal relief. See, I have written the concept of marginal relief over here, and with the same example I have explained, I have also written one formula, but this formula is irrelevant. If you understand the logic, formula is irrelevant. Then I have written the example containing total income 1 crore 1 lakh. Calculate the same and tell your answer with this. Calculate 1 crore 1 lakh and tell your answer with this. I'm giving you 1 minute for this. Now, I'm giving you some examples which you need to solve one by one, covering so many aspects of tax, rebate, surcharge, and all that stuff. And let us see whether you can calculate or not. Some simple, some difficult. Mr. A, resident, 30 years, total income 4,90,000, old region. Mr. B, non-resident, 80 years, total income 6,90,000, 115 DAC. C and company, which is a partnership firm, total income 1 crore 50 lakh. ABC Limited, turnover of 20 to 23, 300 crore, total income 1 crore 1 lakh. Mr. ABC Cooperative Society, total income 2 CR. First of all, calculate this much. Calculate this 5 example, apply all the logics that you have, and then we'll see the answer. This is one kind of revision of this entire chapter. Calculate. First, calculate this. We'll discuss this and then you move forward. Mr. A, resident, 30 years, total income is 4,90,000. Calculate that. Okay. First of all, we need to calculate the basic tax over here. If my total income is 4,90,000, then what will be the basic tax as per old regime? Can I say 490 minus 2,50,000? Of that, what I will apply? 5%. That will be 12,000. But can I say I am a resident individual, my total income is less than or equal to 5 lakh? Then what I will get? Rebate. Under section 87A. How much rebate I will get? Full 12,000 rupees. So what will be my tax payable? Zero. Understanding up to now? Okay. Second one. Mr. B, non-resident, 80 years. Total income 6,90,000 following 115 BAC. Calculate tax payable. Calculate this. Okay. Can I say over here, first of all, we have to calculate the basic tax. Now, don't forget, in 115 BSc, age does not matter. Residential status does not matter. The basic tax rate is same for all. Up to 3 lakh, it will be 0. 3 lakh to 7 lakh, it is 5%. My income is only 6,90,000. So 3 lakh to 6,90,000, that comes to 3,90,000. On that 5%, it will be 19,500. Acha, whether 87A ka rebate applicable? See, in 115 BSc, rebate is applicable if your income is up to 7 lakh. Here it is 6,90,000. Rebate applicable, na? Not applicable because the person is a non-resident. Rebate is applicable only if the person is resident. And that's why rebate is not applicable. The tax is 19,500. On that, I will add directly 4% cess. That will be 20,280. Understanding up to now? Okay. C and company, a partnership firm. Total income 1 crore 50 lakh. What will be the tax payable? First of all, a partnership firm. Can I say basic tax is directly applicable at the rate of 30%? So 1 crore 50 lakh into 30% comes to 45 lakh. Now, can I say my total income is more than 1 crore? So if it is more than 1 crore, what will be the rate of surcharge applicable? 12%. So I will add 12% in this. It comes to 50 lakh 40,000 and I will add 4% cess. So that comes to 52 lakh 41,600. Are you understanding this, people? 1 crore 50 lakh into 30% plus 12% plus 4%. Then ABC Limited, turnover of 22-23 is 300 crore. What is the meaning of this line? Can I say turnover of 22-23 is less than or equal to 400 crore? Means the basic tax rate which will be applicable will be 25%. Total income is 1 crore 1 lakh. Then how to calculate tax for that? Please understand. Marginal relief is applicable to all the status. Even it is applicable to company. The threshold of the surcharge for a company is also 1 crore. And the income is very nearer to 1 crore. It is 1 crore 1 lakh. And that's why over here, marginal relief concept can come. First of all, what is the basic tax? Tell me. Can I say it is a company, domestic company, by states ka turnover less than or equal to 400 crore? So the tax percentage will be 25%. So 1 crore 1 lakh into 25% will become 25 lakh 25,000. 1 crore 1 lakh into 25% comes to 25 lakh 25,000. Plus, can I say the income is more than 1 crore? So surcharge applicable at the rate of 7%. So if I add 7% over here, it will come to 27 lakh 1,750. But now I have a doubt that my income is very nearer to the threshold. Marginal relief can come. So I will check it. If my income is 1 crore 1 lakh, the tax is 27 lakh 1,750. What if my income is exact 1 crore in case of a company? Surcharge is not applicable because for a company, surcharge starts from a total income of 1 crore, more than 1 crore. If it is exactly 1 crore, surcharge is not there. Only 25% tax will be there. So 1 crore into 25%, it will be 25 lakh. Income exceeded by 1 lakh. Tax exceeded by 2 lakh 1,750. Then what is the marginal relief? 1 lakh 1,750. What is the tax payable now? 26 lakh plus 4% cess. 27 lakh 4,000. Are you understanding this? So marginal relief is applicable even for a company. Then ABC Cooperative Society, total income is 2 crore. Okay. Tell me, for a cooperative society, what is the tax slab? Up to 10,000, 10%, 10,000 to 20,000, 20%, above 20,000, 30%. So first I need to calculate basic tax. Up to 10,000, 10%, that comes to 1,000. 10,000 to 20,000, 20%. So basically, this will come to 2,000. And more than 20,000 on entire amount, it is 30%. So 2 crore minus 20,000 into 30% comes to 59 lakh 94,000. So what is the total basic tax over here? It is 59 lakh 97,000. 59 lakh 97,000 is my basic tax. For a cooperative society, what is the rate of surcharge? If income is more than 1 crore, 7%. And if it is more than 10 crore, 12%. Here it is more than 1 crore. So the rate of surcharge will be 7%. 59 lakh 97,000 plus 7%. That comes to 64 lakh 16,790. And ultimately, I will add 4% health and education cess. That comes to 66 lakh 73,462.6. So it is 62. This will be rounded off to 66 lakh 73,460 because the last digit is not 2. It will be rounded off. I'm understanding this, people. Cooperative society, firm, company, non-resident, resident, rebate, surcharge, marginal relief. We saw all the things in this particular 5 examples. So yes, these 5 examples were important for you. And it covers almost the entire chapter. Now, what we'll do is we'll quickly revise this entire chapter. Those who are hearing this video, you have two options. One, you can record this upcoming few minutes in your phone so that this chapter you can revise anytime in the future in few minutes. Like I will give you a voice recording in which 10 minutes you will revise entire chapter. Second one, you can open this video anytime from BB Virtual website from your dashboard, and basically you can hear this particular few minutes in which I will revise this entire chapter. I will go through this entire chapter, but you will also revise it with me at your home. Whenever I'm speaking any concept, you will revise with me so that with me even your revision is also done. So before I start revision, let me be very clear. There are few concepts in this chapter which I have not covered in this video. Like there is a definition of income given in the module. There is some concept called previous year of undisclosed sources. Certain cases where assessee is assessed in previous year. Some special tax rate, agricultural income. All this I have covered in different chapters that I have written over here so that you don't feel that I have ignored those topics. Those topics are not ignored. It will be discussed in some later chapters. Now, let's quickly revise this entire chapter. Take deep breath and be with me. Article 265 of the Constitution gives the power to government to collect the tax. Article 246 has done the bifurcation. Central list, state list, concurrent list. Central list, entry number 82, power to collect tax on income other than agriculture income. State list, there are various taxes like stamp duty, water tax, municipal tax. Concurrent list, there is no tax. GST comes from Article 246A. Two type of taxes are there: direct tax, indirect tax. Direct tax burden is on payer. Indirect tax burden is on consumer. Five things we will study together. Act. Income Tax Act 1961. Section, subsection, clause, subclause. Exceptions are given under proviso. Further clarifications are given under explanation. Procedures are written under Income Tax Rules 1962 made by CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. Circular notification. Circular is issued by CBDT binding on officer. Notification is issued by central government or CBDT binding on all. Then we'll study budget. Technical name of budget is Finance Act. For you people, which Finance Act is applicable? Finance Act 2024 number 1, number 2. Number 1 came on 1st February 24. Number 2 came on 23rd July 2024. There are 4 parts of any budget. Rate of taxes, TDS, advance tax, net agriculture income. And last one we'll study is case law. Then we saw the entire process. First, residential status. Then we'll calculate the income which is divided into 5 heads. Income from salary, income from house property, PGBP, profit and gain from business and profession, capital gains, IFOS, income from other sources. Then clubbing will apply, set off carry forward. Then we'll get gross total income minus deduction under chapter 6A, 80C to 80U. So we will get the total income. On that first we'll apply basic tax. Sometimes we'll deduct rebate, sometimes we'll add surcharge, sometimes we'll deduct marginal relief. Then we will add 4% health and education cess. From that we will deduct TDS, TCS, advance tax. So we will get our tax payable or tax refundable. Section 1. Income Tax Act is applicable to the whole of India, including Jammu Kashmir, from 1st April 1962. What is India? The land defined in Article 1 of the Constitution, plus up to 12 nautical mile territorial water, up to 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, which is called as continental shelf, plus airspace. Section 4. Charging section. Income tax is applicable to any person on his total income earned in previous year relevant to assessment year at the rates applicable. Person is defined under section 2 clause 31. Individual, HUF, firm, company, association of person, body of individual, local authority, artificial judicial person. Then we saw income versus inflow. Every inflow is not an income. Any inflow which is non-repayable is income. So yes, you have to pay tax on income, then it is called as taxable income. If you don't need to pay the tax on that income, it will be called as exempt income. Previous year assessment year. Previous year means the year in which income is earned. For you, previous year is 24-25. It can be lower than 12 months in the first year in which new business is started. Assessment year is a year in which that income is calculated, tax is calculated, return of income is filed. For you, assessment year is 25-26, and it is always of 12 months. Then we saw rate of taxes. First, we saw for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, two tax regime, old tax regime, 115 BAC. Old tax regime, resident individual below 60 plus HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP up to 2,50,000 no tax, 250 to 5 lakh 5%, 5 lakh to 10 lakh 20%, above 10 lakh 30%. Second is resident individual of age 60 or more, senior citizen. Up to 3 lakh there will be no tax, balance will remain same. Third column, resident individual of age 80 or more, very senior citizen. Up to 5 lakh there will be no tax, balance will remain same. Now that was old regime. If a person is following default tax regime, that is section 115 BAC, up to 3 lakh 0, 3 lakh to 7 lakh 5%, 7 lakh to 10 lakh 10%, 10 lakh to 12 lakh 15%, 12 lakh to 15 lakh 20%, above 15 lakh 30%. For firm, LLP, local authority, flat 30%. Cooperative society, up to 10,000 10%, 10,000 to 20,000 20%, more than 20,000 30%. Domestic company, 30%. But if the turnover of 20 to 23 is less than or equal to 400 crore, 25%. Foreign company, 35%. Then we saw the concept of rebate under section 87A. If you are a resident individual, your total income is up to 5 lakh, you will get a rebate, basic tax or 12,500, whichever is lower. And if you follow 115 BAC, the limit will become 7 lakh and rebate will be maximum 25,000. Then we saw the concept of surcharge. Individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. If the income is up to 50 lakh, no surcharge. 50 lakh to 1 crore, 10%, 1 crore to 2 crore, 15%, 2 crore to 5 crore, 25%, more than 5 crore, 37%. Partnership firm, LLP, local authority, more than 1 crore, 12%. Domestic company and cooperative society, more than 1 crore till 10 crore, 7%. More than 10 crore, 12%. Foreign company, up to 1 crore, no surcharge. 1 crore to 10 crore, 2%. More than 10 crore, 5%. Then we saw a small concept called rounding off. 288A, 288B. Total income and tax payable. Both are to be round off. Nearest multiple of 10 rupee. If the last digit is 0, keep it as it is. If it is less than 5, lower side round off. More than or equal to 5, higher side round off. Then a concept called marginal relief. If there is a difference of income and there is a difference of tax, and if the difference of tax is more than difference of income, that excess difference is called as marginal relief. Generally, this comes when your total income is very nearer to the threshold of surcharge. And hence, after deducting marginal relief, 4% health and education cess will be added. That was our entire first chapter, except few cases which I said we'll discuss later. And that was our basic concept. People, are you understanding up to now? Yes or no? Perfect. Now, we are going to start with a very second chapter. And the second chapter is all about residential status and scope of income. In today's lecture, we will be discussing about few things about this chapter, and then we'll continue obviously in tomorrow's lecture. Now, first of all, when we saw the first chapter, we saw a particular process, we saw a particular hierarchy. And in that process, in that hierarchy, we saw the very first step was determining residential status. See, it is very important to decide residential status of any person because due to residential status, the calculation methods will change, tax rates will change. So first, obviously, we have to decide residential status. Now tell me, whether the concept of residential status and citizenship is one and the same. What do you understand? Whether this concept residential status and scope of income is one and the same? The answer is no. In very layman sense, very layman, I become a resident of India if majority of days I stayed in India, and if I do not stay in India, I will become non-resident. However, I will get Indian citizenship by taking birth in India. So if I take birth in India, I will be called as Indian citizen forever. Unless and until I withdraw the same, I will be called as Indian citizen. So first of all, citizenship has nothing to do with residential status. It is separate concept. Can it be possible that I am an Indian citizen, but as per income tax I am non-resident? Yes. Can it be possible that I am a US citizen, but as per income tax I am resident of India? Yes, even that is also possible. Acha, can it be possible that this year I am resident, next year I am non-resident, then again I am resident? I mean, whether residential status can change every year? Yes, it can change every year, depending on how much number of days you stayed in India in that particular year. So first of all, this concept is separated from citizenship concept. Second thing, as the name of this chapter suggests, this chapter is divided into two parts. One is residential status, and the second partition is all about scope of income. In residential status, we'll understand how to bifurcate the residential status, obviously, and why we are bifurcating it. If a person is resident, which kind of income is taxable in India? If a person is non-resident, on which income we will collect tax in India? This we will understand in scope of income. So at any time, if you get a doubt that why we are learning residential status, the answer is there in scope of income. So we are learning residential status, we are determining residential status because accordingly scope of income will change. So mainly we are deciding this due to that second topic. This particular chapter is approximately, you can consider 4 to 5 marks. 4 to 5 marks, a separate question along with case study, it can be merged. 4 to 5 mark weightage you can understand. Firstly, I have given a broad bifurcation over here. A broad bifurcation. Either you can be individual HUF or you can be any other assessee. What is the meaning of this word assessee? Assessee means taxpayer. Assessee means taxpayer. So either you can be individual HUF or you can be any other taxpayer. If you are individual HUF, either you can be resident or you can be non-resident. That is the broad bifurcation. When you become resident, when you become non-resident, that only we have to learn. Once you are resident, the things does not get ends over here. The word resident is further to be bifurcated. Now that person can either be resident and ordinary resident, which in short we will be calling R and OR. Or that person can be resident but not ordinary resident, which we can call it RBNOR. Repeatedly, individual HUF can be resident or non-resident. If you are a resident, either you are R and OR, resident and ordinary resident, or you are RBNOR, resident but not ordinary resident. Now, sir, what is this all about R and OR, RBNOR? What is that? See, in very layman sense, I'm explaining you. If during the year majority time you are there in India, you become resident, otherwise you become non-resident. If during the year you are resident, and in preceding years also you were there in India, so you are ordinarily staying in India, you will be called as resident and ordinary resident. But if during the year you are resident of India, in past years you were not there in India, then you will be called as what? Resident but not ordinary resident, RBNOR. And there are some conditions and all. Accordingly, we'll understand that when a person becomes resident, when non-resident, and further. But if any other person, firm, company, AOP, BOI, AJP, either they can be resident or they can be non-resident, and that's it. There is no further bifurcation. So why there is no further bifurcation? That I will explain you later on. But as of now, you remember either they can be resident or they can be non-resident. Just refer this once. Refer this once. So individual HUF, either resident or non-resident. If he is a resident, so resident and ordinary resident, or resident but not ordinary resident. And if any other assessee, resident, non-resident. That is the two only bifurcation. Now see how to determine residential status of each and every person. The method is different. Huh? For individual, method is different. For HUF, method is different. But the most important is residential status of individual. If that is done perfectly, all other residential status are a matter of half an hour in total. What is the most important topic is residential status of individual. Achha, this entire topic residential status is covered by section 6 and the topic of scope of income is covered by section 5. So residential status section 6, scope of income section 5. First we are learning about residential status of individual. Section 6 subsection 1 read with section 6 subsection 6. It is a combination of two sections. First I have described a small procedure over here. How we'll determine what is the steps to be followed. And once that is done, then we'll discuss about the conditions. First I will tell you two conditions and you have to satisfy any one of them. So first I will tell you any of the two conditions, any of the two basic condition. And this basic condition is written under working note number 1. After this chart. So you don't need to satisfy both the basic condition. Huh? You need to satisfy any one of the basic condition. And if that is done, you are called as resident. Otherwise, you are called as non-resident. If you satisfy neither of the basic condition, then you will be called as non-resident. Achha, if you are a resident person, then the matter does not stop over here. Na? Either you can be R&OR or you can be RBNOR. Then I will tell you two additional conditions in working note number 2. And you need to fulfill both the additional condition. Achha, if you fulfill both additional conditions, you will become resident and ordinary resident. And if you fulfill none of the additional condition or you fulfill one but you don't fulfill another one, you will be called as resident but not ordinary resident. Once again, first of all, what will do? I will give you two basic conditions. You will satisfy any one of them. If any one of them is satisfied, you will become resident. Otherwise, you will become non-resident. Then if you are a resident, I will tell you two additional conditions. And how much you have to satisfy? Both. If you satisfy both, you will become resident and ordinary resident. Otherwise, you will become resident but not ordinary resident. First, we have to discuss about working note 1, and that is basic condition. So basic condition, section 6, subsection 1. The first condition, taxpayer should be in India for at least 182 days during the previous year. Achha, can I say previous year means preceding year? No, previous year means current financial year. For us, 24-25. How many days that person should be staying in India? At least 182, greater than or equal to 182. Achha, tell me, why 182 first of all? So they took half of the year, 365 divided by 2. So lower side round off 182. Achha, this 182 has to be constant 182. Or let's say I came in India in April month, I went back in May, I again came in July, I went back in September. In total 182 is satisfied, constant 182 is not satisfied. Then what will happen? I will be resident. This 182 need not to be constant 182. If in total 182 days is satisfied, it is okay. If I fulfill 182 days ki condition, I don't need to see anything else. But what if I don't fulfill 182 days ki condition? Then don't lose the hopes. You are there with the second condition. Because you have to satisfy any one of them. Now, what is the second condition over here? Either you should be in India for at least 60 days during the year. But here there are dual condition. 60 days during the year and 365 during 4 preceding previous year. 60 days during the year plus 365 in preceding 4 previous year. Tell me which year we are referring to. 24-25. So in the year 24-25, either you satisfy 182, then you will be called as resident. And if you don't satisfy 182, then what will happen? Either you satisfy 60 days in 24-25 plus 365 in preceding 4 years. Tell me, what are the preceding 4 years over here? 23-24, 22-23, 21-22, 20-21. In this 4 years combinedly, I should be in India for 365 days at least. Then also, I will be called as resident of 24-25. What they have said, either 182 days during the year or 160 days during the year plus 365 in preceding 4 previous year. Some question I am asking you, you need to tell me the answer of the same. Let's say during the year 24-25, I am exactly 183 days in India. Tell me. So sorry. Tell me, am I resident or non-resident? Can I say resident? Because at least 182 days की condition satisfied. Tell me, what if I am in India for exactly 182 days? Am I resident or non-resident? If exactly 182 days, can I say again resident because it is at least 182 greater than or equal to 182? Now, what if I am in India for 82 days? Now, can I say I'm not satisfying 182 days की condition, but I'm satisfying 60 days की condition. So then now I have to see what is there in preceding 4 years. Preceding 4 years means 23-24, 22-23, 21-22, 20-21. Now let's say in 23-24 I was there for 0 days, 22-23 0 days, 21-22 only 10 days, 20-21 I was there in India for 356 days. So now can I say all the 4 years total is more than or equal to 365? Then I satisfied 60 days during the year, 365 in preceding 4 previous year. I became resident of the year 24-25 because I satisfied the second basic condition. So tell me, what if for the year 24-25, I'm there in India only for 52 days? Tell me, only 52 days. I neither satisfied 182 nor I satisfied 60 days की condition. What I will become? Non-resident. So the things are very clear. Either you stay in India for 182 days or you stay in India 60 days during the year plus 365 in preceding 4 previous year. Let's say today I came in India, my flight landed in India at 5 o'clock. Half of the day I was outside India, half of the day I am in India. This day to be counted in India or not to be counted in India? This day to be counted in India or not to be counted in India? So, this is to still better. Tell me, my flight landed in India exactly on 11 o'clock 59 minutes. For 1 minute I am in India. Remaining entire day I was outside India. Only for 1 minute I was in India. To count this day in India or not? The law is pretty clear. The day when you entered India, the day when you left India, both are completely to be counted in India. The day when you entered India, the day when you left India, both are completely to be counted in India. So in my first example, when I came in India exactly at 5 o'clock, still that entire day is in India. In the second example, I just came for 1 minute. Even that day is also to be counted in India. Yeah, I have written over here. How to count presence in India? The day when entered, the day when left, both are to be counted in India. Just note down one thing over here, except for crew members. See, those who are crew member of a ship, for them there is some separate rule, rule number 126. And that we'll see later on. In that, something different is to be done. So apart from those crew member, for every other person, these days are to be counted in India. Okay, so tell me what we learned up to now in this chapter. Either you can be individual HUF or you can be any other person. If you are individual HUF, either you are resident or you are non-resident. If you are resident, either you can be resident and ordinary resident or you can be resident but not ordinary resident. Okay. How to determine residential status of individual? Section 6 subsection 1 read with section 6 subsection 6. First, I will tell you two basic conditions. You need to satisfy any one of them. If you satisfy any one of them, you will become resident of India. If you don't satisfy, you will become non-resident. If you are resident of India, I will tell you two additional conditions. If you satisfy both, you will become resident and ordinary resident. If you don't satisfy, you will become resident but not ordinary resident. What is the first basic condition? Assessee should be in India for at least 182 days during the previous year. Or he should be in India for at least 60 days during the previous year plus 365 days in preceding 4 previous year. The day when he entered India, the day when he left India, both are to be counted in India. This was up to now residential status. I'm not moving forward today because of the simple reason there are some question answers which we need to solve, but the time is restricted, so we cannot do it today. Then after we'll go further with additional condition and all that stuff. So remaining things will continue in tomorrow's session, which will be again might be YouTube live only. So we'll continue with tomorrow's session. And today we completed our first chapter. You know what should be your target? Today itself, by your end also, this first chapter has to be completed. Along with all the question answers given in my textbook, along with all the theory parts, it should be done so that it is not in a backlog. You have enough time if you utilize it properly. So tomorrow we'll continue with this second chapter. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.